This man wanted to don the wings. He wanted to wear those beautiful wings on a helmet. He wanted to be an eagle. He talked about it. He tweeted about it. He put up pictures about it. But he never became an eagle. But now he has a real opportunity to come to Philly. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. So this man wanted to don the eagle wings. He dreamt about it. He tweeted about it. He put pictures up of eagle legends. This man wanted to become an eagle, and it didn't happen. But it could happen right now because the Eagles, they have 4 roster spots open, and we know they love their defensive ends. I am talking about a guy you know very well. A guy that maybe a few years ago you wanted him. I am talking about Yannick Ngakoue. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, to the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for all the support you give to me. It truly, truly means a lot. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think the Eagles have planned? What do you think Howie Roseman is thinking? What do you think he's planning? I think we all think that Howie Roseman isn't done yet. Just knowing him from history's past, this is not a time where Howie Roseman goes on vacation. He isn't the Giants. He isn't the Cowboys. He is sure as hell ain't Washington. Okay, so Howie's always looking to improve, always looking to make moves. And we got 4 roster spots sitting there wide open. They're open, and they got to be filled, pause, at some point. I'm thinking maybe a punter, maybe another wide receiver, maybe another linebacker, and maybe, probably, most likely, another defensive lineman. Just a hunch, okay? Now, we've had a lot of rumors the other day or earlier in the week about Leonard Floyd. And I didn't get to put a video about this, mainly because I wasn't sure how I really felt. Not that I wouldn't like Leonard Floyd on the Philadelphia Eagles. I just think that maybe there are choices that are a little cheaper that may work a little better. Leonard Floyd, there was a lot of talk about the Eagles could be in the running for him, and the Eagles were one of the teams mentioned when it talked about Leonard Floyd. We also hear stuff about Ndamukong Suh. He possibly could come back to Philly. He's not going to rush. He's not going to take his time. Why would he? He's going to sit back. He's going to see who the contenders are, and he's going to look to go to one of them. I think Suh coming back for the Eagles for the right price, sure, that would be wonderful. That would be awesome. But I think the Eagles are going to do something else. I think there's still other shoes to drop. And obviously, come June 1st, we're going to see who's free, if anybody else shakes free, anything like that. And Howie may be waiting till June to kind of make a move. But, you know, there are a couple guys that I think out there that could still play and still could be pretty effective. And I think most of them are on the defensive line. One of them, obviously, Leonard Floyd. You know, he had 9 sacks last year. Not a bad deal at all. This is what they said about Floyd. Floyd continued to get after the quarterback in 2022, recording 9 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss, 22 quarterback hits, 31 pressures. The 2016 first-round pick racked up 29 sacks over his 3 seasons with the Rams while missing just 1 game. Floyd turns 30 years old in September. Of course, you're going to call me. Always when I'm busy. Now, it's like really late. Why they call me? It says home buyers realty something. I already bought a house. Leave me the hell alone. So anyways, sorry about that. We got to get a drink here. Pinky up when you drink. Shows you got class. I have the voice of Luther Vandross the face of Denzel Washington, and I speak like Mike Tyson. I got it all. Pinky up when you drink. Now, Floyd turns 30, and he's asking for a lot of money. So would he be a good option for the Eagles? Possible. It is possible. But the guy I think, personally, and this is my own personal opinion, the guy I think the Eagles should go after is a little younger. He's actually 2 years younger. I think he would be a little cheaper, and I think he would come in and fit right in as a defensive end behind like Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, and that could rotate in with those guys. And I'm talking about Yannick Ngakoue, okay? Ngakoue, 28 years old, around 3 pick with the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you guys remember, before he went to, I think went Minnesota for a year, he wanted to come to Philly. He was posting pictures of Reggie White. He was posting pictures of Eagle legends. He was talking about the Eagles. He was all about coming to Philly and playing with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think he would be an absolute good fit. We also know that the Eagles were very interested in him coming out of college. So I think they did meet with him. I think they were very interested. And he may be the guy who Howie Roseman would like to go out and maybe try to sign. I think Yannick Ngakoue would be a great depth piece for the Eagles. This is a guy, he had 18 solo tackles last year, 9.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Can you imagine you got a guy coming in, rotating in, and had 9.5 sacks last year? I think that would be a tremendous signing for the Eagles, and I think he's even cheaper than Floyd. But I do think that the Eagles are going to look to possibly beef up that defensive line. Why not? Especially at the defensive end position, right? You're pretty deep at the defensive tackle. You have some defensive tackle players that could play defensive end as well. I think Yannick Ngakoue would be a good fit for the Eagles. I actually like him, and I like the idea of him better than I liked Floyd. Just my opinion. That's where I personally think the Eagles are going to go next. If I had to guess one position, I think it's going to be an edge rusher, because I still think there are some guys out there. I think that they've done a really good job with getting the running back situation taken care of. So I don't think we need anything there. It is possible that you could go a third wide receiver. I guess they could bring another receiver, but I think that they kind of did it already. So I think, well, wide receiver, I'm not sure about. There's talk about linebackers, but, you know, it's very hard for me to believe that the Eagles are going to invest a lot of money into a linebacker. And when you look at the bang for the buck and you look at production and what players are out there that are going to get you production, most of the production and guys that still can put up good numbers, most of them are defensive ends or they're defensive linemen. So I think that's where the Eagles go. You could go linebacker, you could go wide receiver, you could also go safety, although I think they like what they did there. The other place you can go, and the other thing we could look for, if this team can find a way to get a legitimate special teams returner, somebody who could return punts, somebody who could return kicks, it would do the Eagles so much if they could have somebody that could literally change the field. If you put Darren Sproles, 2016 Darren Sproles, into last year's football team, the Eagles would have scored 40 points a game. The Eagles never really had great field position in terms of, you know, they wouldn't get a punt. It was very rare that a punt would change the field position for them. Usually the offense had to go on these long, sustained drives, and that's how they done it. If you could add somebody who could actually change the game in terms of field position, you might win an extra game or two just because of that. I think Howie should definitely look to get somebody. Maybe there's somebody on a practice squad somewhere on one of these teams. Somebody who's not going to, you know, be a third wide receiver. Maybe he's a fourth wide receiver. Maybe he's a fifth running back. But they're very good as a returner. And you can get somebody like that in, I think the Eagles should do it. That's where, those are the positions I would go, right? It would be either defensive line again. I would go linebacker. I would go special teams and then safety. So I would have special teams third. And not just the returner. I mean, we could talk about returner. Yeah, you get punt returner, kick return. But a punter is just as important. Now, they signed this kid, Legatron. We're going to find out what he could do. He's an undrafted free agent, so you really never know. Do they go out and get a punter? That Ariza kid is out there. He's been cleared of all his crimes, right? He proved himself to be innocent and not involved in it. So from what I gathered, from what I read, he's cleared. He's actually going to sue the people for basically ruining his life, as he should. But the fact that he's been cleared, I think he should be able to return to the NFL. The guy has a hell of a leg and could be a tremendous punter. A punt returner, people and players that can go ahead and change the field position for the offense or the defense is a very huge thing. And with 4 roster spots open, I can tell you this. Howie Roseman has got something brewing. He's going to do something. It's just a matter of what and when. No doubt about it. But he is. Me, if I had to guess, I would guess based upon the talent that's still out on the board or out on the market, I think defensive line makes a lot of sense. I could see them adding a depth piece. If you could get a Yannick Ngakoue cheap, for a decent price, maybe he wants to come in on a 1-year prove-it deal. The guy did have 9.5 sacks last year. I think that's the most likely move, followed by probably a linebacker, although they'd have to be very cheap, and maybe a safety, and then hopefully special teams players. Now, I don't want to take anything from Crash Test Covey either, right? There's nobody that I know that can run one way and his body is like a magnet. And he just gets sucked right to where the wall of defensive players are coming. I've never seen it, but he does it. And he did get better as the year went on. I'm not going to lie. He did get better. So maybe they believe in him. I don't know. But I say bring in competition. We talk about it with the third wide receiver, the slot receiver. Bring in competition. Well, we brought in the receiver, Zacchaeus Oladi. I can't pronounce his name. I'm not even going to try. We're going to just call him Z. They bring a kid in from Atlanta, right? He's competition with Quez Watkins. Great. Bring in more competition. Bring in more. Jarvis Landry's sitting right out there. You want to bring him in, put him in the slot, let him battle Quez for the starting spot? Go ahead. The more competition, the better. Iron sharpens iron. That's what they always say. So, you know what? Do it. That's what I say. 4 roster spots open, and I think the next play is a defensive lineman. Depth at it. And Yannick Ngakoue looks like he could be the perfect guy. He wanted to come to Philly. He tweeted about coming to Philly. Now let's go make it happen. He would be a perfect depth piece, in my opinion. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. Man, I tell you what, football can't get here soon enough. I'm so ready for training camp. I'm ready for preseason. I'm ready to watch the games. I cannot wait. It is going to be awesome. It is going to be tremendous. And I need you guys to help me come up with some good bets for guys like Mark Holmes, Pizzle, all those guys. We're going to do some big damage on YouTube this year. Denzel Washington out.